YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Paul Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? This your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit the doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. Well, people, Jamie Foxx has come out the foxhole, I guess. But my question is, because there's a lot of questions behind this, right? But my question is, well, who the fuck was that the other day when Jamie was so called out of the hospital and what have you, and he waving at the people? Who the fuck was that? All right. So again, and then then this video comes out of him talking, and then the thing about it though is that he still didn't come out and say what happened to him. Right? So now I'm not I'm not a doctor, you know, but I do for the most part know how the human body works and why it works the way that it does. So my whole deal is, right, you either gonna have a stroke, heart attack, or a seizure. Right? And so I mean that's out of the main three. Oh, I forgot you might OD on some shit, but other than that, that's pretty much that pretty much sums it up. Now, if it's some stuff out there that I don't know about, then hey, but I just look at it like this: that, like I said, you either finna have stroke, heart attack, or seizure, or you finna OD on some shit, or you have OD on something, right? Or the medication that you got you on, you know, you got real serious side effects. So I tend to look at this Jamie Foxx situation the same way that I look at that Buffalo Bill player that said, that when he so called collapsed out there on the football field. And then when they went to ask him what actually really happened, then he could act like never give like a straight answer. So my whole deal is, right, for the most part, if you're out in the public eye, like these two uh, people are, right, you somewhat healthy, pretty, you in good health, and then bam, some shit happened to you, or they want everybody to believe that something happened to them. So you're in the hospital, you this, you that, and what have you, and then so when you get out, right, then people going, hey man, look, what the fuck happened, and then you tap dance around it. No, So basically, what happens now is we can be like, okay, well, let's just say that particular model malfunction, right? But my thing is this: if indeed, you've been cloned or whatever, instead of be like, okay, well, I went through something that I didn't expect to go through, or something that I ain't ever witnessed, and all that kind of stuff. And instead of just saying all that, just lie like the average motherfucker do, and be like, look, I had a stroke, and then just know it was a pretty bad one, right? And then they try to figure out why did I have a stroke, and then some other shit happened. It caused me to have a seizure, and so, or this said that I had like about 3-4 strokes or whatever, and and be done with it. No, you gotta go all you want to tap dance all over around Laura's house when all what the fuck you had to do was just go right across the street, for the most part. So, so in our case, you know, y'all want to believe that shit, then hey, by all means. Now that I got that out the way, right, we're gonna talk about this movie that Jamie Foxx is in. Called They Clone Tyrone. So I actually really started watching it last night, right? And then the Z Monster got a hold to me something fierce. So I shut it down and I picked it up again, picked the rest of it up back up this morning. So let's just say this. Is it a good movie? Well, for those of y'all that actually really into movies like that, yeah. But I tend to look at this the same way that I look at Black Dynamite when it came out and Undercover Brother. So basically, whoever this damn director is, right? He took probably some ideas from both of those movies, right? And in addition to what you hear people say on a daily basis about who's actually like really real and who's been cloned and all that kind of stuff, right? So then like I said, so I'm watching it, right? And so now depending on whatever reason that you was actually really watching the movie for, right? Then okay, you got what you were supposed to get out of it. But here's the thing, people. I already told you about the previous two, Black Dynamite and Undercover Brother. And so for the most part, this movie actually like really it took on the same concept as those other two movies, right? They going underground, seeing people behind glass studying them, right? So my whole thing is this, and I have to actually really go back to what Chuck D said on one of his on matter of fact, it was on the Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black, and it's that little extra behind the I don't want to be called your nigga track. And so basically what Chuck was saying is like, well, hey, he said giving up checks, giving it back to the government, busting your ass to pay the rent. And let's look at that word project, another word for experiment. One side of the street is the church, across the road is a liquor store. Both of them keeping us poor. So basically, I'm looking at this movie. So this motherfucker is at the liquor store / convenience store, whatever the case may be, right? And so just hold it right there. So then I actually really go back a little bit further, right? When Def Comedy Jam was on, right? And then Cedric the Entertainer, he did his little piece. And so basically he could say, now this was like in the 90s. Right? So basically what he was saying about the black neighborhood, so-called black neighborhood. Right? And so basically you could always tell when you're in a black neighborhood because it's a church, liquor store, Chinese place. Church, liquor store, Chinese place. Church, liquor store, check cashing place, Chinese place be right there. Right? Well, let's just say since the 90s. But then again, it could have been always, it could have always been there, right? Instead of saying church, liquor store, Chinese place, now you can say church, liquor store, pawn shop, Chinese place, right? Because, and the people, they go to work or whatever, but sometimes we all fall short of money. And so, unlike most people, right, you're not going to go out there, still, hold up nobody, sell drugs, right? Or get a pimp and become a prostitute, right? You got some people that actually really, they have somewhat dignity about themselves. So you take whatever it is that you got of value, right? You go to the pawn shop, right? They appraise it, you get your money, then out the door you go. But then again, depending on your status, whether you married or single, whether you with somebody or whatever. So now the question is, okay, I done left the pawn shop now. So now where the fuck am I finna go? Am I finna go to the liquor store? Am I finna go to the Chinese place? Or am I gonna go to both of them? That's so again, that's just how you have to look at it. So my whole deal is, just like I said, that the whole thing with, okay, they didn't took the elevator, went downstairs or whatever. So they got all this shit going on. Right? So my whole deal is, if you paying attention what the fuck they doing upstairs, right? Then why you snatching motherfuckers downstairs? I mean, because 9 times out of 10, they already, listen, whatever the fuck they doing up top, they gonna do it down bottom. Because it's just for the simple fact of whatever that you're doing, right? Or what is being done to you, yeah, it really ain't gonna matter how you getting done up, right? So, so again, just like I say now, for those of y'all that actually really like movies like that, then hey, and then whatever it is that you were supposed to get out of it, then I sincerely hope that you got whatever the fuck that you were trying to get out of it. But it's just for the simple fact though, if it's like, okay, well, where have I seen this before? Hollywood already done showed me this, right? Whether it's actually on the motherfucking movie or whether you actually really carry your ass outside, right, and see life for what the fuck it truly and honestly is, right? So again, people, right? but now the only thing that I did, hey, it's almost like, okay, well, hey, it's, they all of them got together, whatever, to fight that one common enemy, right? But then again, it's like, okay, all right, so you fight and you may win, right? But then what happens after that, right? Because the guy, he already said, hey, look, listen, we got shit set up everywhere. So you took this one down. Big damn deal. Right? So so it's almost, well, ain't no almost to it. It's the same thing that it's the same concept. it's pretty much like, okay, well, and just know, I just like I say again, I'm not here to act like really downplay nobody's channel, anything like this, right? But let's just say for shits and giggles, right? For everybody that acts like really likes to go on Dane Calloway's channel, listen to what that young brother has to say, and be like, damn, I didn't know this about myself, right? And then now you just start researching. Now you done got somewhat pissed off because you've been lied to, right? And so now it's like, okay, well, well, let's rally, let's let's get together, let's protest, let's protest, let's actually really go to the school systems and be like, hey, look, guess what? This is bullshit. What you teaching the kids, right? But then in all of that, right, you could be like, okay, go on, let them have it. We already got something else ready for them. See how that works? So again, now I'm not sitting up here saying, hey, don't do anything. I'll never say that. But all what I'm saying is that okay, anything and everything that we can actually really think of that for the most part that we know is bullshit, right? Like I said, they already got it covered because they done figured out that, hey, guess what? These motherfuckers can only do one task at a time. They can't multitask. They can't multitask, right? So again, so just know that the higher ups, the so-called higher ups, will always be good until now. Like I said, now unless everybody just do an all-out attack where that where the shit is like so, it's like so unbearable that you know that you would actually like really cause for some shit that you would actually like really cause like a nationwide panic or a worldwide panic, or whatever the case may be, and they actually like be able to say, well, hey, listen to us, right? And then they actually really make sure that they fucking listen. But then again, right? And like I said, and I've said this plenty of times on this channel and on my previous channel. Just like I said, in order for any of this shit to actually really start making sense, right? One, stop putting motherfuckers in office, right? Or at least, well, nobody puts nobody in office. These motherfuckers are already selected. So, but just like I say, you gotta, something has, you have to actually really look at this in such a way, right? To be like, okay, well, where is the actual door? And then once we actually really find the door, can you know I mean, you got to be able to gain access to it. Actually, really go in, move some shit around or whatever, and then get out of there before anybody even recognizes you, right? Because the first time they recognize you, one or two things is gonna happen. They either gonna get your ass out of there or they gonna convert you over, right? And then after that, it really ain't gonna matter after that. So in either case, that's my spiel about the movie. That's my spiel about Jamie Foxx. But it's just for the simple fact that you can't help but to enjoy, like, okay, well, the higher ups, right? They can be like, because again, you know, somebody somewhere was like, either they found some information or somebody told them something, right? In order for this shit to become widespread in the first place. So let's just say, for shits and giggles, I don't know, I might have already said this already, but let's just say this. Here come one of the higher ups to you and say, and they'll come to you and they'll say some shit like this, right? Hey, look, this is what the fuck we put in the food. We knew it's like, okay, we know you motherfuckers love chicken and drinking your 40 ounces or whatever the fuck it is that you drink, right? So we gonna put just a little bit that we gonna put just a little bit of that of what we know is gonna kill your ass off over the course of time, right? Say we putting it in the like I said, we putting it in the chicken, we putting it in the motherfucking the malt liquor, whatever else the fuck you like to eat and drink, right? Now go and tell somebody, right? And so for the most part, that's how the shit starts, right? Now it could be true, right? But basically, this is all what the fuck this movie was about. These people, or the director, right? They done took all of the shit what people have said about certain people, and they put it in a fucking movie. Just like I said, if you haven't watched this one yet, go watch Undercover. Go, but before you do that, go watch Undercover Brother, then Black Dynamite, then watch this one, and then you tell me where the similarities are at in all three of these movies, right? Because when it's all said and done, right, the man always gets away, right? But it's just like with my homeboy, one of my old army buddies. I think he acts like really, and I know I said this in one of my shows. He said, "Hey, look, you have the man and the man. So the man tells the man what to do, right? When it comes to everybody else. And so for the most part, when motherfuckers act like really give up and say, well, hey, we finna take over, right? You either finna capture or kill the man while the man is nowhere to be found. This is the only reason why this shit keeps going, right? So if we actually really want this shit to stop, right? So how about we actually go after the man instead of the man? So just know that that's if they ain't clone that motherfucker, right? Because the man is a smart motherfucker. Okay, so so hey, look, people, it is what it is. So again, that's my spiel. So with that being said, hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner. Paulus Harris, aka the crazy uncle. Till next time.